US President Donald Trump has left the G7 summit in Canada a day early due to the situation in the Middle East. Donald Trump took to social media platform Truth Social, asking people to evacuate Tehran after Israel vowed to launch a massive strike against Iran. In a warning message to Iran, Trump said that Iran should have signed the nuke deal. Trump didn't mince any words when he said that Iran could not have a nuclear weapon. He also took to social media to clarify that his leaving has nothing to do with negotiating a ceasefire, countering the claims made by French President Emmanuel Macron. In a media briefing on board Air Force One, Trump said that he wants a real end with Iran giving up entirely on nukes, and emphasized that the world will find out in the next 2 days. On any threat to US interests, he said Iran knows not to touch US troops, warning that US would come down hard on any aggression.
I've spoken to everybody.
What will you say?
Israel is doing very well, as you probably noticed, and I gave Iran 60 days. And they said no, and the 61st, you saw what happened. Day 61. So I'm in constant touch. And as I've been saying, I think a deal will be signed, or something will happen, but a deal will be signed. And I think Iran is foolish not to sign one. Iran basically is at the negotiating table. They want to make a deal. And as soon as I leave here, we're going to be doing something. But I have to leave here. I have, this commitment. I have a lot of commitments. I have a commitment to a lot of countries. I want to see no nuclear weapon in Iran, and we're well on our way to making sure that happens.
What specifically is better than a ceasefire? What are you looking for here?
An end, a real end, not a ceasefire. An end.
So something that would be permanent.
Yeah, or giving up entirely.
Is that okay too? Are you close there? Is that possible? Is that possible in the next 24?
Why not? Certainly possible.
Do you think if the U.S. got involved militarily, it would actually wipe out Iran's nuclear program, or where's your assessment of that?
I hope their program's going to be wiped out long before that. But they're not going to have a nuclear weapon.
What do you
The Iran-Israel war shows no signs of slowing down. The fierce face-off has now escalated on all fronts. After asserting full air superiority over Iranian skies, Israel has intensified its offensive. Israel claims it has killed Ali Shadmani, who is Iran's armed forces chief of staff. In an interview to foreign media, Israel's Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu said that he believes killing Iran's supreme leader, Ayatollah Ali Khamenei, would end the conflict between Israel and Iran rather than escalate it. Netanyahu, on the other hand, claimed Iran wants to kill Donald Trump for what he called Trump's decisive stance against Tehran. Yesterday, Israeli fighter jets launched a wave of targeted airstrikes deep into Iranian territory, including a shocking strike on Iran's state broadcaster headquarters in Tehran during a live transmission. The anchor on air was seen scrambling for cover as fire engulfed the studio. Chaos followed. Flames consumed the building, and the aftermath was nothing short of catastrophic. Meanwhile, US President Donald Trump has once again thrown full support behind Israel. American forces are maintaining their defensive posture in the war-torn region.
Well, look, we had the peace talks. We gave it a chance. We've, clenched our teeth. We did everything we could to enable President Trump to negotiate the desired result, and that would have been preferable for us and I think for everyone. But we saw in the course of the negotiations, while they were negotiating with the United States, the supreme leader of Iran, Ayatollah Khamenei, tweeted almost every day, "Death to Israel." The talks were merely a facade.
So are you going to target the supreme leader?
Look, we're doing what we need to do. I'm not going to get into the details.
But U.S. officials tell us that the president flatly rejected a plan, an opportunity that the Israelis had to take out the supreme leader. Do you understand his concern? My understanding is his concern is that this would escalate the conflict beyond where it is already.
It's not going to escalate the conflict. It's going to end the conflict.
Israeli regime deliberately targeted the office of Iran's news agency,
during a live broadcast. This appalling attack constitutes a blatant war crime and a direct assault on press freedom. The Israeli regime has once again demonstrated that it is the foremost enemy of truth. It holds the disgraceful record of being the world's leading perpetrator of violence against journalists and media professionals. In response to this barbaric attack and aggression, Iran exercised its inherent right to self-defense in line with Article 51 of Charter. Our response was defensive, targeted, and proportionate.
Iran may have now softened its stance over escalating crisis after French president said that Donald Trump offered a ceasefire proposal between Israel and Iran. Donald Trump has slammed Macron and rejected his claims as well. Trump slammed Macron for claiming that the US was ready to mediate truce between Israel and Iran. Trump called the move by Macron a publicity stunt. In a cryptic message, Trump said that there is something much bigger coming on the way. Meanwhile, Russia and China have also offered to mediate peace talks between Iran and Israel. Russia and China have, in fact, repeatedly offered to mediate ceasefire between Iran and Israel.
אני לא מתפלא שהם רוצים לאותת ככה, משום שאנחנו מכים אותם שוק על ירך. אבל כמובן שהם רוצים להפסיק. הם רוצים להפסיק ולהמשיך לייצר את כלי המוות, גם את הנשק הגרעיני שמאיים על הקיום שלנו, וגם כמובן את הטילים הבליסטיים, ואנחנו כמובן מחויבים להשמיד את שני האיומים הללו. אם אפשר להשיג את זה בדרך אחרת, בבקשה, אבל נתנו לזה צ'אנס ב-60 יום. בשעה שהם מנהלים משא ומתן עם האמריקנים, האייתולה, כן, הדיקטטור של איראן, מוציא ציוצים שישראל תושמד. תודה רבה, אנחנו לא מתפתים. אני רוצה את התוצאה.
Let's talk about de-escalation. You want to de-escalate? I tell all the leaders of the G7 now, who are convening in Canada, you want to de-escalate like we want to de-escalate? You want to de-escalate? Get the nukes out of Iran's hand. That's all there is to it. It's all very simple. Escalation means rushing to the bomb. Escalation means attacking us with missiles from all over. That's escalation.
Iran should have signed the deal.
If it would help bring Iran to the negotiating table, would you guarantee that the U.S. would not get involved militarily?
Well, I think Iran basically is at the negotiating table. They want to make a deal. I want to see no nuclear weapon in Iran, and we're well on our way to making sure that happens.
Well, it is really important that we focus on de-escalation because the risks of the conflict escalating are obvious across the region and beyond the region. The impact that this could and probably will have on Gaza, which is a tinderbox, and of course the impact on the economy. That is why at the G7 there's such a focus on de-escalation. That'll be an intense discussion for our talks today, but we have to find a way to de-escalate the situation, notwithstanding the concerns that we all have about the nuclear program. There's no doubt about that. Notwithstanding, we all accept Israel's right to self-defense, of course, but there must be de-escalation, and that will be the central focus of much of the discussion today.
正如我刚才所说，王毅外长在本周末同以色列外长通了电话，呼吁意以双方通过对话来解决分歧。中国将继续为解决当前的意义冲突发挥自身的作用。关于你提到的伊核谈判的前景，我想强调的是，中方一贯主张通过政治外交手段和平解决伊朗核问题，愿继续同有关各方保持沟通协调，为实现局势降温发挥建设性作用，为推动伊朗核问题政治外交解决营造良好的外部环境。
Écoutez, il y a deux choses. La première, le président s'est exprimé il y a quelques minutes pour dire qu'il y avait des discussions qui étaient en cours, ce qui est une bonne chose. Et donc, si les États-Unis d'Amérique peuvent obtenir un cessez-le-feu, c'est une très bonne chose. Et la France le soutiendra et nous le souhaitons. Ensuite, je dis, il est absolument essentiel que toutes les frappes de part et d'autre qui se font contre des infrastructures énergétiques, administratives, culturelles et encore plus contre la population civile cessent. Rien ne les justifie, rien. Et elles sont, elles, absolument intolérables. Et ensuite, dès que le cessez-le-feu sera obtenu, et je pense que les annonces qui ont été faites par le président Trump sont tout à fait positives, et le rôle que les États-Unis d'Amérique auront à jouer est clé. Les Français, à leur côté, les Britanniques et les Allemands sont disponibles pour reprendre des discussions sérieuses. Discussions que nous n'avons jamais cessées.